Hi, this is Carl the Prod with A to Z Business IT, and today we're just going to discuss why the price of a data breach is so high. According to IBM's annual cost of data breach report, sounds like a fun read, but anyway, the average cost of a data breach is $4.24 million, and that's in the United States and Canada, where let me rephrase that. Actually, in the United States and Canada, it's actually even higher than that. So why are data breaches so costly? In the end, are CEOs and business owners unaware of the risks and what can be done to prevent them? And what factors contribute to the high cost of a data breach? The cost of a data breach includes everything from the tangible to the intangible, from reputation damage and system downtime to legal action and regulatory ramifications. It could also include detection and forensics and containment of the breach and recovery. And there's also costs in informing authorities and the impact to third parties that the breach can hurt, such as your clients. According to IBM, the following overall are the costs of the breakdown in terms of what goes into that $4.24 million event. The costs, such as customer attrition, you lose customers, downtime, and new business, on average, total almost $1.6 million. It's about 38% of the cost in a data breach. Another 29% of it is the cost of data and escalation, such as locating and identifying the breach, as it requires recruiting the assistance of key team members, as well as outside assistance, such as forensics, attorneys. You may have what's called a breach coach. The list can get quite extensive. The cost of a post-breach response, which includes containment, eradication, which means to get rid of the issue, and recovery, is where the other 27% of that cost go, and 6% of it goes into basically notifications to regulatory authorities, partners, customers, and the general public. The United States placed the top in terms of total cost for breach for the 11th year in a row. So the U.S. is number one in this. And so when I said $4.24 million, that was the worldwide average. In the United States, it's $9.5 million, which is twice as much as the global average. And in Canada, it's $5.05 million, which is still above the global average. So North America is ruling when it comes to paying out. And it's affecting stuff like data privacy standards like GDPR are becoming more widely adopted through the world. And regulatory fines are being heaped on top of that to play a bigger part in the cost of the data breach. For example, the GDPR, which empowers the European Union, has imposed fines up to $20 million, which in euros, which would be 22 million in US, in the last year, which is higher. Criminal prosecutions and potentially jail might result in countries like South Africa, Singapore, and Thailand. And CEOs are becoming aware of the risks associated with a data breach. At this moment, it appears that these concerns are well known, and according to a Lazian Risk Barometer, in this year, the decision makers and risk management experts from around the world have chosen cyber incidents as its most significant global business risk of this year. This issue is more essential than ever, as many such as. When I mean this issue, this has become the top concern. It's even escalating past a pandemic or a business interruption caused by a supply chain issue because of data breaches. A variety of job titles seen in firms throughout the world is equally intriguing to investigate, even though the role of a CISO or a CISO is not new. It's received a lot of attention in recent years. There's also been a noteworthy increase in the positions like Chief Data Officer, suggesting that executives understand the significance of data data assets versus data liabilities have climbed to the top of the agenda due to the importance of data and the dangers and the possibilities that come with it. So what can be done to prevent a data breach? As we said, data breaches are growing more widespread, and they typically discovered years after they happened. When you're going into an organization, you must proceed as though you've already been hacked, and now you're only becoming aware of it. The main concept to follow here is that data reduction and data-centric security and zero trust are the ways that you handle the data. Knowing what's the sensitive data you have and where it's kept, and only gathering safe, sensitive data you need to operate, and destroying sensitive data when it's no longer needed, and use suitable cryptography to safeguard sensitive data you keep or process throughout the lifespan wherever practiced. That means, for example, social security numbers, when they're no longer needed, need to be destroyed. Same thing with PII information. And if you don't need to collect it, don't keep it. If you're using a third party as a payroll provider, they can keep that information. Traditional perimeter-based defenses have their place and purpose, but in the modern IT environments, seldom have we had a defined boundary due to a large number of what we call touch points or endpoints and interconnected systems. What's that? That's a fancy way of saying that, we have a lot of people working from home and working all over places that traditionally weren't the office. So that's changed the perimeter. And so, first of all, you have to define what that perimeter is. You have to be able to detect when it's breached, and you should be able to keep, the critical data shielded whenever possible. This is not just good cybersecurity strategy, but it's also required by a variety of data protection laws and regulations throughout the world, including the GDPR and PCI, as well as a number of others. Obviously, this is it's not a simple issue to deal with. First things to do is to, like anything else, is to put together a data strategy, a response plan. If you don't have these things in place, we're here to help you. If you want to see how your business is standing compared to the rest of see how well protected you are, I put a quick quiz down here in the notes. Feel free to go through that, and we're here to help you. Carl DiPrato, A to Z Business IT, protecting businesses. Thank you so much for your time.